What's good, y'all? This is the real, I haven't used the real A-Town in years. This is RGB Fox, and here I'm going to go ahead and just have some Master Duel gameplay in the background whilst I, speak about recent life update and changes that may or may not come into the channel, right? So first things first, right? For those that have been subbed for a little while, within the span of about a month, I want to say that we went from 350 subscribers to 393, which is amazing. And, if you look through my channel, I've uploaded damn near daily for the last 2 or so weeks, maybe even 3. And that's, in part due to the passion that I've truly had making these videos, and I still do. That portion hasn't changed at all. So, what's going to go on with the channel now? I might end up uploading a bit less over the next upcoming weeks, and the reason being is I started a new job. I won't go into details what that job is for the most part, in terms of like where I'm working, right? But what I can tell you guys is that it is a IT job, right? And IT is something that I have been doing for the better part of almost 3 years now. Although technically I did begin my IT journey 5 years ago, but that was like more, I had a computer that I built and my friends helped me a lot, right? Not only with, assembling it at certain points, but also giving me parts for free. And if you guys remember, like 2020, 2021, up until 2022, the prices of graphics cards were just astronomically high, right? And one of my friends gave me RAM and a graphics card, and it's so crazy to think that he gave me a RAM because like the prices of RAM now, it's so astronomically high. I couldn't imagine, giving someone my RAM at this day and age, only because of like the price hikes. Although if you kept up with the news, the prices of RAM has dipped down significantly by 50%. Through most companies, and some are even charging way less for the RAM because of like, hey, the demand is there. The supply is there. The demand is certainly there, but like no one's buying it because it's so high, and the AI companies are no longer investing as much into RAM because they're all falling down, which is great news. I love when AI just like tumbles, right? I am not a fan of artificial intelligence whatsoever, at least not in the way that people have been using it, right? Making shitty Sora AI videos, making, low effort content, generating quote-unquote art that does not belong to them, stuff like that, right? And also how damaging it is for the environment, not only the amount of power that it uses, but how much heat it generates. And so you gotta cool these systems with lots and lots of water, right? And that uses up all our fresh water. Like, at least from what I've seen, some AI companies around the world have their data centers underwater, like, by the coasts, but that still generates a huge amount of like carbon footprint that I'm not gonna get into the environmental logistics about it, I guess, in full detail, because then this would be a different video. But case in point, I hate AI, right? So yeah, the whole RAM issue just sprung up because of that, and now it's falling short. But case in point, again, my friend's helping me get my first computer at little to no cost. Like I believe I maybe spent $300 total, because I got a new power supply, I got a keyboard, I got a monitor, right, stuff like that. Everything else was provided for me, believe it or not. And eventually I would run into my own issues, right? And I would ask my buddy, hey, like, what's going on? And this is the one that gave me RAM, CPU, the motherboard, the GPU. He was like, Google it, right? And so little by little, I would figure out how to resolve my own problems on my leisure, and it worked out great, right? I went to building more and more computers and assembling them properly, taking great care of quality, cable management, etc. And here I am now. My first IT job was in 2023, and it was terrible. I didn't know how much advantage they were, taking of me until like I sat down and looked at the numbers. I was getting paid like 16.25, which to a lot of people might seem like is not too bad. But then in the current era that we're in, money is so important that for 16.25 for 2 years straight, 16.50 at some point, isn't manageable whatsoever, right? I said a lot debating on whether or not I wanted to spend my money or just save it, and the stress of also not having very good benefits. I mean, I got like a week of PTO max per year, right? I had no sick leave. I had no vacation time, essentially, aside from the quote-unquote PTO. And our health benefits, medical, etc., was just outright ludicrous. Like, it was essentially non-existent. And whenever I got my IT job, I was 24, right? I'm now 27. And at some point, I turned 26, and I realized, oh, I can't be insured under my my parents' health insurance anymore, which means I have to make adjustments. And adjustments I did, as I had to look at my own plans, and when I would go for like a checkup or anything, and I was under my parents' insurance, I didn't have to pay anything after the copay. Their insurance was pretty good, it appears. And then for me, after I got my new insurance plan and I visited the doctor for literally the same thing, I had owed $180. Did I pay that back? No. They can suck me. But that's $180. I was like, Jesus Christ, that is really unfortunate. And so eventually it was Halloween of last year, and I thought, look, I need to leave. I need to get a better tech job, right? Because this is what I like to do. For the most part, I was just in the in the help desk, right? But I was their little queue manager. That role didn't really mean much significantly. However, it did allow me to remain at the job longer than I thought I would, because for the most part I kind of did nothing and the work was remote, right? I'm not saying that I didn't do anything, but like, because I worked so late into the shift, the amount of users that needed assistance dropped significantly in comparison to those that worked in the early morning, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's the main reason I stayed. But I was truly unhappy. My schedule was like essentially 2 to 10, right? Realistically, 1 to 11. I had no time to do whatever I wanted. And so that's when I began making videos again, because I was like, hey, I want to do something that I'm passionate about. So when I started this channel, RGB Fox, I did have Yu-Gi-Oh in mind, but it was mainly Genshin that I was doing, right? I was super addicted to Genshin Impact. And part of that was because I was still going to school around the time, and I had part-time jobs instead of having, a full-on full-time job. And so I started making videos of Genshin Impact, and that's when I got into video editing, right? It was nothing crazy. If you guys see, I used a program called Filmora Wonder. It does a lot of the work for you. But that's how I started learning. Now I use Adobe Premiere Pro, and I love it wholeheartedly. I love learning full-on intricacies of how to use this software to its fullest. And one of these days, hopefully, I can present more skills that I learn over time. But when I was doing the Genshin stuff, I was just uploading whatever I thought I wanted to talk about. Just like how I do now. I upload not only live commentary, but also, Master Duel. I'll talk about new cards that interest me, etc. At this point, I'm talking about my life, right? So it's not like I have a certain goal in mind. This is just something that I want to do whenever I have free time. And I had a lot of free time during my unemployment months recently until just now, right? I'll tell you what, though. Sometimes it makes me realize, like, should I have stayed with Genshin? Because, like, some of those videos have well over, like, 10,000 views. But eventually I got bored with Genshin Impact. I'm not gonna lie to you. So, here I am now, uploading Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is what I really had a passion for years, right? I've played since 2012, right around wind-up format. Or actually, it was after wind-up format. If I really think about it, it was like during Abyss Rising when Mono Mermail was like hot, right? That's when I truly started playing competitively. I had Gravekeepers, I had 6Ams. They were not as good as the top decks of the format during that time, but it was still good, right? So yeah, no, I truly have been enjoying Yu-Gi-Oh! For more than half my life at this point. Well, no, it's right around there, right? Because it's at this point been 14 years. I'm 27. No, yeah, it's been about half my life because I'm going to be 28 later this year. Wow, that is incredible. So now what's going on? Well, like I said, I got a new IT job, and I am looking to continue this. The benefits that I have in this new job is amazing. A friend, or multiple friends really, because when you are like in a community, sometimes you just get, and networking is like the most important thing if you're struggling to find a job. And for the most part, I wanted to, find one through my own means. But it's honestly what I learned in these past 6 months is that it's very okay to ask for help. And if you are in dire straits, is very okay to take, something low pay to get you by until you get what you really want. And that's what I did. Shout out to Epic Cards and Games. Shout out to Alfred Johnson, David Yao, and Dustin Arnold, because he has a stake in Epic as well, for allowing me to work. And thank you to Sean, who manages Epic, and all my friends that work there, because it was truly an enjoyable experience. And, I still help them out here and there from time to time. But now, with my new salaried rate, I work in the early mornings, and I get off at a reasonable time to where I have time to grocery shop, take care of my vehicle, do laundry, make videos if I want, read manga, watch anime, and I go to sleep and I wake up every day not feeling as tired as I used to when I had my previous job. And I think that was important for me to recognize that it was consuming every portion of my life. Because the only time I had to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Unless I was playing Master Duel was in the weekends. I couldn't do anything during the weekdays because who hosts Midnight Yu-Gi-Oh? No one. And I would probably hate going to Midnight Yu-Gi-Oh! Because then I have to go home and immediately go to bed. And sure, my job was me just getting off my bed and sitting on my desk in the room. But it was mundane, truly. And now I don't feel that same stress. Maybe it's because the job is still very new. And so time will tell whether or not I am going to dislike it. But after being here for a week, everything seems pretty good, pretty chill. I have essentially my own office to myself. It's a really big office space, and there's a lot of space to store broken equipment or things that I had to, like, you know, repair, what have you, right? So space is not an issue whatsoever. And you know, when you work in the help desk, you get a lot of calls. But when you are like a legit tech for your building, for the most part, they put in tickets. Unless they stop you in like the hallway, the break room, what have you. But that is so much more rare now than when they put in a ticket and actually have me address the issue in a proper manner. And also, my onboarding staff, my HR staff, my, you know, co-workers, everything, they have been nothing but wonderful so far. And I truly mean that. So I am going to, of course, continue in this path to continue working at this job and enjoy it to the fullest. Now, how is that going to affect videos on my channel? Well, most of the time when I record videos, like duels specifically, it would be on a Wednesday night. And we get like a semi-decent crowd. However, 4 round starts at 7, and unfortunately, we do have people go to time essentially every single round, which means on a good day, I leave at like 10:30. On a bad day, I leave at like 11 or 12, and it takes about 20 minutes for me to get home. I do wake up early morning now, as weird as that is for me to say, because it used to not be that way, but now it is. And at the moment, it's going to be like erratic uploads, but hopefully I get to pick that up. And I'm gonna try my best to also put out shorts every single time so that there's not a lack, at least, of content on my channel. This is still something that I very much want to do. And for me, like I said, the goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And in 1 month, we gathered almost 50, right? Which is not a lot, right? Like when you think about it, but it is a lot to me, because that is 50 more people that are tuned in, waiting to see what I upload. And I cannot thank you all enough, right? Even if I wasn't getting views, I would have still uploaded, because if you guys scroll down through my channel, I mean, some of my videos have like 2-1 viewers, right? But if it wasn't something that I really wanted to do, I wouldn't keep uploading. So expect to keep seeing me here. I'll figure things out though. Adjusting to the new schedule was not as difficult as I thought, and now it's a matter of continuing this grind. So yeah, I'm gonna try to record dueling videos today and tomorrow. Today it is Friday as of recording, so hopefully things will end up working out in the near future for the best. And yeah, now, last thing that I want to talk about. Master Duel is releasing Cool Tune. What? Why are they releasing Cool Tune now? Where is Tri-Brigade Spring Kit? Where is Tri-Brigade Arms Mauser? Where is the Fallen of the White Dragon? Where is the Fallen and the Virtuous? Where is Ecclesia and the Black Dragon? Like, we're missing so many cards. Like, I want to play... Okay, they just nerfed Dracotail, and I spoke about this in a previous video where I talked about the Master Duel ban list. If you want to see it, it is, you know, about a week old, but the information that I spit on there is still relevant because it's only been, again, a week. If you guys, as you guys see in the background, I'm playing Branded Dracotail. I do think that Branded Dracotail is still one of the better decks in this new format, and after playing it here for a few like games, I still feel that way. Sometimes I fumble, but that's because I had to differentiate between, oh, Ketu's at 1 in the TCG, and now Lucius and Rahu is at 1 here, and so I gotta play better. And then this is the first time I'm using Predaplant Anaconda in like years, and I forgot that, of course, I only play 1 Fallen of Alabast, so how am I gonna use Branded Fusion through the deck to like continue grinding? You know what, I'm a mess up, but that's okay. The season just started. As you guys can see, I wasn't Master. That's why I got placed in Diamond. So I'm going to keep ranking up. best believe. But anyways, yeah, from that being said, Dracotail, I just want Fallen to come through so that I can go for the Manchester combo much easier, right? Because normal summoning Zoroa feels worse than special summoning Fallen of the White in the hand, right? So stay tuned. Hopefully Master Duel drops that soon. And if they do, I might actually build Branded on Master Duel and start playing it. Because I see like my boy Luke play Branded in locals, and I'm like, man, he makes the deck look real good. And I'm just not convinced that it's a good deck, but anytime I see him play, it's definitely the player. But like the fact that you could take a deck like Branded and like escalate it to new heights, I don't know, man. I feel like Branded might be a good deck actually. So yeah, and that's it. Thank you guys for listening to me yap and give you guys an update. We will continue with live duels here later on during the day, if possible, and throughout the weekend. I think my biggest plan is I'm going to work on recording and uploading videos every Sunday, and then here and there throughout the week, so I don't get just overwhelmed with doing it all during the weekend. And you know, keep putting out content as I have. I don't want to lower my standards of content, is for sure. But this one, at the very least, I was able to think, hey, you know what? Maybe I should provide an update to the channel so that it doesn't seem like I'm not trying to upload anymore. So thank you guys for listening to me yap, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.